You know, it's almost like your birthday with a package from China, so let's go. Okay, I must say that they're giving us like a unique box, so I'm curious how it will look in the inside. Oh boy, we're going to get two wireless controllers this time, and yup, there are like the fake ones, not like, let's say like the cheap versions. Let's smell it. That doesn't smell chemical at all. I can already see it like having like some good rubber compound on the joysticks, but the cheap version is more like plastic and fantastic. D-pad feels quite nice, but later on we'll test it out just to see how it is. Player 2. Let's see, we're going to get a basic power supply, 5 volt, 2 amps. And we're going to get an HDMI cable. But here we're going to get the box where all the magic will happen. Seriously, you are shitting with me. Look at. So more like we're getting a box. We're making like this basic sticker calling the retro fighting box. This is just the cheapest way you can make yourself a game system. Yeah guys, so I just needed to laugh about this because this is just the cheapest way. It's like old stock they are grabbing from the shelf and just slapping some emulate. And yeah, what they're basically going to do with this is just reselling it with some software on it. Yeah, it's just freaking funny in some certain ways. But this time we're going to get the S90W. For the people who are not familiar, like the Super Console X itself has like the similar chipsets. And yeah, I can already tell you, spoiler alert, it's got the same results. But for sure, we're going to test it out. So let's go. So at the back we're going to get the input for the adapter, an optical out, HDMI out, Ethernet connection. We're also having an AV out and IR out, but this AV out, I must say that most of the time it doesn't work. So at the left side we're going to get two USB 2.0 ports and TF slot over here, and yeah, the box already says it, we can have up to max 64 GB. Let's see what kind of card you're using. It's a legit card. It's not even a 64, it's a 32 GB. So we can expand it if you want to have like more space for some games. Yeah, never mind. I'll just put it back in after I stop recording. Yeah. They also call it the Retro Mini Super NES. Oh, what the hell is that kind of weird name? Model number, input, and let's see, we have the production date 2020, the 5th month. Interesting. So is it just a new box or an old box with a new sticker on it? Oh boy, this is so confusing. So let's get myself a controller. Let's add some batteries to it because yep, old school batteries. Two AAA batteries, let's add them. Let's connect it. So most of the time with these dongles, they are like synced to the two controllers. So you don't need to do any configuration with the Bluetooth. And the software itself has been set up. But in, let's say in other tutorials I made on the channel, and my second channel, The Wicked Brain Fart, here I explain how you need to set up new controllers if you freaking hate these things. Another thing I completely forgot to mention is that these things never had an on and off switch. So that's quite annoying. So you need to plug it in, pull out the adapter or the power cord. Otherwise, it will stay on. If everything has been configured correctly, like the SD card, we're going to get ourselves the preloaded. And it's like emulate 3.8, and holy shit, that is a really old version now when I'm making this video. Boot up time will not take up a lot of time. Depends of course how big the image is. This time it's 32 GB, so it's almost instantly booted up. For the people not familiar to emulate or systems like these, take consideration that you can play a lot of old school stuff if you're interested in. Think about Commodore 64, Atari, stuff that you didn't see before when it comes to a Pandora's box or another weird Chinese AliExpress game system. That's what I like about this system, but I don't like that you're always using the S905 chipset. If it's an X, and W or Pro, it doesn't matter. Most of the time they are like more of the same. Depending of course how much money you pay for it. Is it worth it? That's something you need to decide for yourself, because basically you can just get yourself an old box, slap this piece of software on it and can just do it yourself. And so far so good, but with a controller, because it doesn't feel that bad. What I find very convenient with emulate is that we have a lot of options that we can change out. So let's say if you have just some problems with the game, it doesn't run it well, press both the joysticks at the same time. We're going to get in the RetroArch menu where we can change out a lot of things. If you have audio problems, video problems, input with your controllers, you can all change it out over here. But first, let's play some PlayStation games. I think it will not be a problem because most of these cheap boxes will run PlayStation very well. First thing I'm noticing is that with this version, we're not going to get the very nice bezels at the side, just the basic ME-Elec version. So you can also change it out, you can mess around with the system. I have no idea how to move. How do I do the moves? Oh, it has been a long time. Oh. Ah, that was it. But you can see that the game plays very well and runs just fine. Oh, that was it. Let's try a more demanding game. Just to show you that these cheap boxes are just great to play some PlayStation 1 and some other games on it. Next up we will try some PlayStation Portable, but I can say that it will give some issues. Ow. So next up, let's try a basic PlayStation Portable game. It's highly possible that a lot of these games will run just fine, but it is also possible that some of these games will not run at all. At the right top corner you can see the FPS. But when you're going to get into the games like Tekken 6, God of War, don't even think about it. But I noticed like with two-dimensional games it's even possible that it will glitch out like crazy. Start the bloody freaking game. But you can see that this game runs just very good. Let's get my power up. I love Bomberman, man. This game is so much fun. We got more power. Oh crap. Damn it. I'm going to blow my power up. Whatever. But I gotcha. Okay, so I was booting up a game. I just wanted to go next into the MAME and already getting my first error message. And the reason I wanted to record this and show you is that like some of these boxes have like an image. I don't know where they're getting them or they're making them themselves. But they're not checking the stuff more, like you're booting it up and now you need to tinker with it. So that's a little bit of a bummer. But the reason I just wanted to boot up a game, just to show you like how are the game running when it comes to the two-dimensional stuff. But I can say like if PlayStation 1 runs, most of the main games will run. But the games like Killer Instinct, the higher end MAME stuff will not run on a box. You need a PC for this. Oh yeah, slap him with the pipe. You want some spanking. Now the reason I also want to play these games, you can test the D-pad if it works like in every single direction, and it works very smooth. So I do like the D-pad of this fake PlayStation 2 controller. Ow! Okay guys, so let's take a close look at the retro fighting box specifications. It's an AM Logic S905W that comes with a Cortex A53 that runs on 1.5 GHz, mainly 400 MP, that has around 750 MHz clock, 2 GB of DDR3 memory, 16 GB internal, and of course using a 32 GB of an SD card. ME-Elec version 3.8, so when you're looking at specs, it's quite similar to the Super Console X. Okay, so let's do a quick teardown for you guys, and the only thing that holds back the plate is just everything is clay. There is no screws whatsoever, so that is super cheap. Another thing they did, like added this metal plate in combination with the piece of thermal paste that transfer the heat, or yeah, absolutely. So this plate is quite hot after using it for a couple of hours recording this video. So the system with the thermal pad seems to be working just fine. Okay, so let's see if we can check it out. The S905W. I think you cannot see it, but it's quite interesting that they're using this chip. Don't see it very often, this AM Logic chip in other boxes. Most of the time they're just using other versions like the M or the X. 2 RAM chips over here. We are looking at the main board. It is similar like the Super Console, super basic. Yeah, and the cooling, I'm not a big fan of it, because I know like people did left comments in the last couple of months regarding the thermal throttling what these things have. So like if you go to get like a beefy system, we need to have like active cooling and good cooling solution when it comes to these devices.